This is an enormous frickin' deal for global stability. President Trump just pulled out of the Iran nuclear agreement, a major decision for national and international security. Here's why it matters. 1, it took years of negotiating to get to this agreement in the first place, which limits Iran's nuclear production. And 2, every current party to this agreement, including allies of the United States, wanted it to hold up. Trump is sending a clear message that he will act unilaterally when he sees fit, and he will not maintain an international consensus. As a quick refresher, the Iran deal was one of the signature foreign policy achievements of the Obama administration. It was an agreement reached between Iran and major world powers. Its official name is a Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, though it's also known as the Iran Nuclear Agreement. It was signed in 2015 by Iran, the United States, Britain, China, France, Germany, Russia, and the European Union. The United Nations endorsed it as a plan to limit Iran's nuclear production over a number of years. Now, Trump said the deal is, quote, defective at its core. He thinks it didn't go far enough in limiting Iran's nuclear capabilities, and his administration is now making moves to reinstate sanctions against Iran. So, how is the world reacting to all of this? Well, French President Emmanuel Macron has already said that France, Britain, and Germany regret Trump's decision to quit the deal. This could also increase US tensions with Russia and China, other parties to the agreement. On the other side, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he applauds Trump's, quote, bold decision, though the rest of Israel may not share his opinion. Just a few weeks ago, 26 former top-ranking Israeli military and security officials signed a letter urging President Trump to keep the US in the agreement, arguing that pulling out would undermine the security of both the US and Israel. Here's an important quote from what they say was a consensus among Israel's defense community. Israel's security interests would be served best if the United States chooses to remain in the agreement and work with its allies and other parties to the agreement on further diplomatic actions to address other aspects of Iranian policy in the Middle East. And that's what most of the rest of the world wanted President Trump to do. Use the existing agreement as a framework to keep working on Iranian policy. This decision also shows the influence of National Security Advisor John Bolton and new Secretary of State Mike Pompeo in the White House. Where the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the Secretary of Defense wanted the US to stay in, Bolton and Pompeo are more hawkish on Iran and want to push for regime change. President Trump has indicated he thinks this will help his upcoming negotiations with North Korea, because it shows the US is not willing to stay in, quote, bad deals. But judging from the reaction of the national security and international community, what this is actually signaling is that the US will do whatever it wants, regardless of treaties or agreements. So why would Kim Jong-un agree to sign anything with Trump? And if he does, why would he honor it? Pulling out of this agreement also adds to tensions in the Middle East, which is already in crisis over Syria, and in which Iran and Russia are playing a major part. If Iran were to get nuclear weapons, Saudi Arabia would then want them as well, and that could destabilize the region even more. And what does this all mean for Iranians? Karim Sajjadpour, an Iranian-American policy analyst, says, quote, the impact of Trump's decision on Iran is unpredictable. But one possibility is that it hastens the end of the current Iranian regime, which we know is a goal of John Bolton's. But what comes next if the current regime implodes is a massive open question that no one has the answer to right now. Iranian currency has recently been plummeting, and the current economy is in crisis. This move only adds to the instability and feelings of uncertainty for the Iranian people. As for how the Iranian government is responding, President Rouhani announced before Trump's announcement that they would honor the agreement with the other 5 countries involved. But he also warned that Iran would be ready to start nuclear enrichment again if the deal does fall through.
من به سازمان انرژی اتمی دستور دادم آمادگی لازم رو برای اقدامات بعدی در صورت نیاز داشته باشند. با دوستان خودمون، با متحدین خودمون، با اعضایی که پای برجام و توافق برجام امضا کردند و وفادار خواهند بود به رایزنی میپردازیم. همه چیز وابسته به منافع ملی ماست.
So far, that means that Rouhani is signaling that Iran is still part of this agreement, though that may change in the next few weeks due to internal pressure. If the other 5 countries decide to move forward without the US, then Trump has only added to American isolationism on the world stage. When we zoom out, It's clear that this move from Trump is part of a larger pattern under his administration. His decision to withdraw from the Iran deal, despite the protesting of many of his current and former advisors and the US's allies, is just the latest in a series of departures from major international agreements. If we're keeping score, he pulled out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership Trade Agreement. He made the US the only country in the world to withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement. And now, he's ended US participation in what was seen as a major breakthrough in diplomatic relations with Iran, and possible progress toward peace. Donald Trump built his reputation on the art of the deal. But as president, he's shown himself more willing to pull out of agreements than make new ones.